Bismillah, read Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Come closer.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يخرج من وراء النهر قال له حارث كرات على رجله رجل يقال له يوطن او يمكن لآل محمد كما كانت قريش لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فعل قال جابته رواه ابو داود.
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So we're still discussing the signs of Qiyamah. And more or less here, most of the signs here we're discussing was the Babu Asharat Sa'a general that could refer to the big ones or the small ones. But we know that what we told you before, from the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam till the Mahdi, that is Alamat Suhra, and with the Mahdi, that's the beginning, that's the herald in the Alamat Kubra. Let's look at another hadith. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَأَنْ أَلِيهِنْ قَالَ قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ يَخْرُجُ رَجُلٌ مِنْ وَرَاءِ النَّهْرِ. A person will come from beyond the river, right? يُقَالُ لَهُ الْحَارِثُ حَرَّاثٌ. Right? And he will be said, his name will be Harith Harrath. عَلَى مُقَدَّمَتِهِ رَجُلٌ. And at the head of that army. So in other words, the army will be the army of Harith Harrath, right? And على مقدمته رجل, upon the head of that army will be رجل يقال له منصور. He will be, his name will be Mansur. يوطن أو يمكن لآل محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. He will make place, he will accommodate, he will facilitate the Ali Muhammadin for the family of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, right? Just check if everything's right. Ali Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, كما مكنت قريش لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, like how the Quraysh accommodated for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like how when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was under pressure, was under stress, how people of the Quraysh, they accommodated him, they facilitated for him, they made easy for him. So same thing, this army of Haris Harras and his main general Mansur, they will accommodate for who? For the Mahdi. They will make it easy for him, try to make things easy for him, right? That means أو يمكنوا لآل محمد كما مكنت قريش لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Right? وجب على كل مسلم نصره أو وجب على كل مسلم نصره أو قال إجابته رواه أبو داود. It is necessary upon every believer نصره, to assist him, أو قال إجابته, or to respond to his call. Remember we discussed this before. What is Ummati Da'wat, Ummati Ijabat? Ummati Da'wat is those persons who the message was directed to them. And Ummati Ijabat is those people who responded to the call. In other words, they brought Iman. So same thing, he's saying, when the Mahdi come, it will be necessary for everybody to respond to him. Now this here, Wara'un Nahar, normally you'll see in Arabic, in English, it's referred to transoxania, and normally this refer to, these areas where Uzbekistan, where all of these, mostly Hanafi ulama came from there. So it's a part of Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, even a part of Afghanistan, a part of Iran, that whole area there. So it's called Wara'un Nahar. So normally when you do your fiqh also, you'll see they say, the ulama of Wara'un Nahar say so. The Hanafi ulama of Wara'un Nahar say so. And the ulama of Sham say so. You understand what I'm saying? Like how you say maybe, the South African ulama, Hanafi ulama, they say like this. And the UK ulama say like that, etc. So same thing. So all the areas beyond this river, it's called, the places that refer to as Bukhara, Samarkand, etc. Right? So an army will come from that area, and his name will be Harith al-Harras. And the person who will lead his army, his name will be Mansur. And this is the person who will make things easy for the Mahdi. Like, in the initial stages of Islam, who protected Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his uncle, Abu Talib, when people wanted to harm him, when people wanted to abuse him, etc., who came to assistance? Abu Talib. So same thing here. What he's saying, Nabi Sallallahu was saying that this people's army will make it easy for him. They will protect him. But this is Harith al-Harrath and his general, his lieutenant, Mansour. And the interesting part is, as I told you, that this referred to this area, portions of Khorasan, Afghanistan, and we know presently there's an effort there underway to establish Khilafat. There's a effort to establish Khilafat ala minhaj nubuwa. So what is he saying? The army that will come to the assistance of the Mahdi will come from that area. Come from that area. And presently they are moving towards establishing a Khilafat. So if it is our predictions are correct, it shows that means the time is close. Because I mean the areas, things don't happen just like okay, the hadith say, once the Mahdi comes, things will happen overnight in a quick succession. But the run up to the build up of it will take a time, right? So this could be in preparation for that time. This could be in preparation for that time. Allah Ta'ala knows best. Only speculation, right? Okay, read the next hadith.
الرحمن الرحيم عن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم والذي نفسي بيده لا تقوم الساعة حتى تكلم السباع الإنس وحتى تكلم الرجل عذبه صوته والسواك وشراك نعله ويدرك قلبه بما أحدث أهله بعده رواه
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman. Very interesting hadith here. This, subhanallah, look at this hadith. وعن أبي سعيد الخدري قال رسول الله والذي نفسي بيده, right? لا تقوم الساعة حتى تكلم السباع الإنس وحتى تكلم الرجل أذبة صوته وشراق نعله ويخبره فخذه بما أحدث أهله بعده رواه الترمذي. Right, that on the authority of Abi Sa'id al-Khudri, he said that Rasulullah said, I take a qasam alladhi nafsi bi, I take a qasam by the one who my soul is in his hand. Qiyamah will not come حتى تكلم السباع الإنس, until the predatory animals, they will speak to the human beings. وحتى تكلم الرجل رجل أذبة صوته, until the whoop of a person will not speak to them. You check this meaning of adabatu. What? Loud? Yeah, the point of his sword will speak of his whoop will speak to him. Right? وَشِرَاقُ نَعْلِهِ, and even the laces of his shoes will speak to him. وَيُخْبِرُهُ فَخِذُهُ, and his thigh will inform him بِمَا أَحْدَثَ أَهْلُهُ بَعْدَهُ, that what his family done after him when he was not there. In other words, Imam Tirmidhi narrates this particular riwayat. Now, this is an interesting hadith. Why I told you it's an interesting hadith? Look here, there's 2-3 things I want to bring to your notice. The first thing is this here. Remember, there is a hadith that, the Da'aba will come out of the Arad and the Da'aba will speak to the people. So that will be a miraculous thing. So one is, we take this hadith in the literal sense, that these things will literally speak to a person. But now, another way to look at it, with the advent of AI, AI, artificial intelligence. Now, I don't know if you see nowadays, the Siri. You ever heard of Siri? You see these home systems, when you come into the house, say, Siri, what is the weather today? What's the weather going to be like today? Siri, make me a cup of coffee. Siri, put on the television, arm the alarm, etc., etc. So all of these things, they have artificial intelligence, so they can speak to you. They can have, I know even if you look at your WhatsApp, they got a Meta. That thing can speak to you. You can have like a human-like conversation with you. You can have a human-like. It's not like Google where what you say, you just feed you information, but he can have a complete conversation with you. Yeah, you speak about, hatta kullima rajula shirakun. I'm thinking about, you get these shoes nowadays, which will tell you exactly how many steps you took for the day. It will tell you walked so much for the day, how many calories you burned in the process of walking. So it could actually refer, as I said, one is a miracle, that uh, things that are inanimate, they will speak, etc. But otherwise, what about the AI? When all of these things will have AI. This, I think about this here. He says here, وَيُخْبِرُ فَخِذَهُ, right? وَيُخْبِرُ, what فَخِذُهُ then, وَيُخْبِرُهُ فَخِذُهُ بِمَا أَحْدَثَ أَهْلُهُ بَعْدَهُ. This eye will inform him. Now, nowadays, there's, people who are suffering from diabetes. First, before you every time prick your blood, you take your blood and you put it onto a little strip, and that thing shows you like how much glucose, etc., is in your blood. But now there's a thing that you got. You put it on your body, and it's permanently attached to your body. It's like it's permanently attached. So you don't have to check your blood every time your diabetes. The thing, it monitors your diabetes, and if your diabetes is too high or too low, it will tell you on its own. They check your sugar is low, or your sugar is too high, you need insulin, or your sugar is too low, you need to take something. It will tell you on its own. So there it says, like, your body will speak to you. So it could refer to something like that also. Allah Ta'ala knows best. I told you many times something that doesn't make sense to us, but with the progress of time, with the progress of knowledge, with the advancement in technology, things that never make sense before, it will start making sense afterwards. Things that never make sense before, it will start making sense. So at this point in time, these are the things we know. So maybe I told you, you get, these home systems which you can speak to you, can give them instruction. You get robots. You see, I don't know if you know the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, is from South Africa originally. He is busy developing robots that are very like human-like, very. It has human texture. It will be able to hold a conversation to you like a human being, etc., etc. So Allah Ta'ala knows best where this is going. Allah Ta'ala knows best where this is going. So as I said, you can take it in the literal sense. So um, we'll see it as time go along, inshallah. Anyway, read the hadith, next hadith.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الفصل الثالث عن أبي قتادة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الآية بعد الشيء رواه
Interesting. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن أبي قتادة قال قال رسول الله الآيات بعد المئتين رواه ابن ماجه. Nobody said it. Okay, this is an interesting hadith here. عن أبي قتادة قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الآية بعد المئتين رواه ابن ماجه. What does hadith saying? On the authority of Abu Qatada, he says, Rasul says, the ayat will be after 200 years. That was the ayat. So what does it refer to? What ayat? Ayat of Qiyamah, obviously, because that's why it's brought under this chapter. Is the alamat sughra? Is the alamat kubra? What? And after 200, when do you start calculating 200 years, right? Are you understand what I'm saying? So there's quite a bit of ambiguity in this hadith here. So I told you, first thing is look at when do we start calculating the 200 years? Like how some, as Umar radiallahu ta'ala, etc., they started the Hijri calendar, or rather they started the Islamic calendar with Hijrat, with the advent of Hijrat. Once Hijrat started, then from there, our Islamic day currently is 1446 years, isn't it? When did it start? It started with Hijrat. So what he's saying, someone must say, what this means is the 200 years from Hijrat, then is when the ayat will start manifesting itself. It was the ayat of Qiyamah. In other words, for the first 200 years, what if you take it to mean that, what he's saying is for the best years of Islam will be the first 200 years of Islam. although there will be fitan, like we discussed before, the shahadat of Hazrat Uthman and the fight between Muawiyah and Hazrat Ali, etc. But the best years where Islam will be the strongest. Now, despite all of that fitan, Islam was still powerful. And despite that, even after those fitan, Islam still expanded rapidly. Islam, as Muawiyah radiallahu anhu was a brilliant statesman. When he came to power, he brought a lot of, despite all the problems, and despite his fight with Ali, and the fight with Aisha Siddiq and Ali, but after that, it was still a glorious area in a sense. A lot of lands came under the control of the Muslims, right? Because JC was a master statesman, a master general. So if you take it to and look at that from that sense of the word, what it means is that for 200 years, Islam it was still shine bright on the horizon. So from 200 years of Hijri, we got 200 glorious years. Some ulama say no. We say from the wafat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's when we say the 200 years starts. And this is interesting. I want you to listen to this here. Although, Rukia, remember we said, just listen to this nicely now. Remember we said that Nabi Sallam said, Mauti, my death, is the first sign of the small signs, right, of Qiyamah. So if that hadith says that the death of Nabi Sallam is first of the small signs, and we say that 200 years is the beginning of the small signs, it seems outwardly contradictory. What it seems? Outward. But the intibak is yes, the death of Nabi Sallam is the beginning of the small signs, but 200 years after, where the small signs will come in quick succession. Are you with me? So in other words, yes, remember why I'm saying this will make a nice intibak, because remember, Nabi Sallallahu explained the Shahad of Uthman radiallahu ta'ala also as a fitna. He explained all of those remember the harra, all those things. He explained all of that as fitna. So if you're going to say now that means the size of Qiyam will only start after 200 years, then that means you're excluding all those things. So the good intibak is between this hadith and the previous hadith without having any type of contradiction between them is this here. That take that to mean that yes, the signs will start after Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but this hadith is saying that the small signs will happen in quick succession. So in other words, from 200 years, whether we take it to mean from the Hijri calendar or we take 200 years to mean from the time that Nabi Sallallahu passed away, whichever we want to, but 200 years from then the signs will come in quick succession. The signs will come in quick succession. For the first 100 years, there will be random or sporadic. There will be random or sporadic signs, but this is when it will come now in quick succession. Are you with me? So like that, there's no contradiction between the two hadith. Are you with me? Is that clear? Are you sure? Because this is a nice question for exam. You say, in the exam, you say, look here, there seems to be a contradiction between the two hadith. This hadith here says it will happen with the death of Rasulullah sallallahu, and this says 200 years. That you give it, yes, it will start with the death of the Muslim, but it will happen in randomly. But 200 years after the demise or after Hijrat, now the small size will happen in quick succession. Are you with me? So the word is, I told you the word is quick succession. Yes, in the time of the Muslim, it did happen also randomly, right? Interesting here also, some ulama mentioned, they say, if you look at this word here, al-ayatu ba'd al-mi'atayn, al is normally alif lam ta'rif. So the 200, so it means the 200 after the first 1,000 years. So after the first 1,000 years, so to say, the 11th century and the 12th century of Islam, so to say. Yeah, even the author is saying that what would it mean then that after 1,000 years, the small signs will now reach its culmination And after the 1,000 years now, and another 200 years, it will now start coming. The big signs will start. You have to start preparing yourself for the big signs. And he says, the author he also says that, or not the Shareef, it seems like now the also small signs are finished. Now we are waiting for the big signs. Like I told you, remember I told you that we ran a hadith about ظهرت القينات والمعازف, singing girls and musical instruments will become rampant. I told you that the singing girls and the rampant, they've already entered the Hijaz. They are already on the borders of the Haram. What more do you want? Isn't this a complete manifestation of the Alamat Sughra? I told you, hadith in zina will become rampant. I tell you, in certain parts of the world, it has become legal already. So you can do it in public as long as you don't inconvenience anybody. Isn't that a complete, absolute manifestation of the hadith of Nabi Sallallahu? So we say that's how I'm saying. The Shari saying the time is now right. The time is now right for the big signs to start. Allah Ta'ala knows best. It's only speculation. But maybe it will become, for us it seems like it's very intense because we're comparing to the past. So for us it seems it can't get worse. But if it gets worse, it's for the other people, they say, no, look, this is more worse than what has happened earlier. So you understand what I'm saying? So it could become more intense at a later stage. Allah Ta'ala knows best. Carry on.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا رأيتم آيات السودة قد جاءت من قبل خراسان فأتوها فإن فيها خليفة الله المهدية. رواه أحمد والبيهقي في دلائل النبوة.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وأن ثوبان قال رسول إذا رأيتم الرايات السوداء قد جاءت من قبل خراسان فأتوها فإن فيها خليفة الله المهدي فإن فيها خليفة الله المهدية موصول صفة, right, which is the خبر, the ism of inna, right. رواه أحمد والبيهقي في دلائل النبوة. Also narrate the authority of Taban. He said the Rasul said, when you see إذا رأيتم الرايات السوداء, when you see the black flags قد جاءت من قبل خراسان, that has come from the side of Khurasan, then fa'atuha, go towards it, because in it is the Khalifa of Allah Ta'ala, right? And what is Sifat? Assistant Khalifa. Raw Ahmad, Imam Ahmad narrates this in Dalail al-Nubuwa. 2, 3 things I want to tell you. I mentioned to you earlier that the army that will assist the Mahdi is going to come from Khurasan, this area where Afghanistan, etc. is. And currently they are trying to establish an Islamic Khilafat. So it seems Allah Ta'ala knows best. Maybe they will establish something. It will be degraded again with the passage of time. Like I told you, simple example. If you look at Nabi Sallam speaks about the conquest of Constantinople. Constantinople was conquered how many years ago? But that is not the one Nabi Sallam was speaking about. So it could be that maybe they will have a glorious era, and then there will be a degeneration. A second time around, it will be the army that will assist. Allah Ta'ala knows best. That's why Allah Ta'ala has kept these things ambiguous. You can only speculate. Remember when the Sahabi came to Nabi Sallam said, but the Sa'a says, ma'adaddalaha, more important than knowing exactly when it is, because you can't pinpoint it. More important than is to be prepared for it. So we can only speculate. We can, like I told you, even with Constantinople, Istanbul, or Istanbul, we can speculate. Is it going to come out? Is currently the end of the Muslims? Is it going to come out of the end of the Muslims? Is it going to come back into the hands of the Muslims? Allah Ta'ala knows best. But anyway, this could be it. This could be it. Ulama are saying, but ulama can also make a mistake. The only persons that don't make a mistake are the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wa taslim. They are the only infallible persons, right? So the hadith says, إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُ الرَّايَاتِ السُّودَى, when you see the flags coming, black flags, and if you look at the rulership, the leadership in Afghanistan today, in the Islamic Emirat of Afghanistan, they also have black flags with the name La ilaha illallah. When you see it coming from Khurasan, then go to it to be part of it, because really in it is the Khalifa of Allah the Mahdi. It's a small thing here. We know that the Mahdi is not going to be part of the army that is going to come from there. This army is going to come and assist. This army is going to come and assist the Mahdi, but the Mahdi won't be part of this army. Remember we discussed this in detail. The Mahdi will be making tawaf of the Bayt, and he will be identified between the Maqam Ibrahim and the Rukn Yamani, and that's where the Abdal, etc., the Ajaib, the Nujaba, etc. They will give ba'at to the Mahdi at this point in time. Then the army will come, two armies we discussed as well from Khorasan, will come to assist him, right? And then the other armies will attack him, the non-Muslims from Sham, they will be sunken into the earth by Bayda, remember? So the Mahdi won't be, so to say, in the army. Then what does this hadith mean? What it means is being means that he won't be literally in the army, but rather his assistance. You can say, فَإِنَّ نَصْرَ اللَّهِ فِيهَا. In other words, the people that will assist the Mahdi will be part of this army. And so I'm saying, that's one explanation you can give. Or another explanation you can give, you can just say that what it means here is that Mahdi comes not in the technical sense, but in the literal sense. It means the Mahdi, a guided person will come from Khorasan to assist him. You understood the objection, and you understood the answer to the objection. All right, you got that. Okay, read the next hadith.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عن أبي إسحاق قال قال علي ونظر إلى ابنه الحسن قال إن ابني هذا سيد كما سماه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وسيخرج من صلبه رجل يسمى باسم نبيكم يشبهه في الخلق ولا يشبهه في الخلق ثم ذكر قصة يملأ الأرض عدلا رواه أبو داود ولم يذكر القصة.
Okay, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن أبي إسحاق قال علي ونظر إلى ابنه الحسن وقال إن ابني هذا سيد سماه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وسيخرج من صلبه رجل يسمى باسم نبيكم يشبهه في الخلق ولا يشبه في الخلق ثم ذكر قصة يملأ الأرض عدلا رواه أبو داود ولم يذكر القصة. Right authority of Abi Ishaq, he said that as Ali said, whilst he was looking at his son as the Hassan, once Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was looking at his son and saying, وَقَالَ إِنَّ ابْنِي هَذَا سَيِّدٌ. Is this son of mine, he's a Sayyid, he's a leader. Or it could be maybe, we say normally the family of Rasulullah is called, referred to as Sayyid. He's from the Ahlul Bayt, right? Sammahu Rasulullah. Nabi said he's going to be a leader, right? And what is وَسَيَخْرُجُ مِنْ صُلْبِهِ. So what he maybe was making a reference to you here is, remember, Nabi Sallallahu also referred to as the Hassan and said that at his hands a great sulah will take place. Nabi Sallallahu said so. Remember I told you that after as Ali and as Muawiyah had it out, the Khilafat was so to say splitted. As Ali controlled certain areas and as Muawiyah controlled certain areas. But after as Ali passed away, as the Hassan, he made sulah with as Muawiyah, and then the Muslim world now came again under the rulership and guidance of one Khalifa as Muawiyah. So as Ali, Nabi Sallallahu mentioned this, and he actually praised. He praised Hazrat Hassan for this. So it could be that he's making the word goes like this: يُصْلِحُ بَيْنَ فِئَتَيْنِ عَظِيمَتَيْنِ مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Allah Ta'ala will use him to bring about a reconciliation between two great groups of the Muslimin, right? And another thing I just want to add on to here that ulama mentioned, because as Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he sacrificed, he gave up the khilafat. He never hankered, after the khilafat. No, this is my father's, and my father was a khalifa, and this is my, my right, etc. He gave it up for the interest of peace, so that the Muslim world can be united. So sometimes the rulers, they hang on to their rulership position, and in the process, the whole country get destroyed. In the process, the whole country get destroyed. They don't want to give because they're looking after the same self-interest. They're not looking after the betterment of society. So like our same thing, what is happening now in Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu, he got cases coming up. If the war stops, he has to face trial for his personal corruption charges. As long as the world war carries on, then there's no time to put him on trial. So he's perpetuating and continuing the war for his own gain, so that he can be saved from trials. You understand what I'm saying? So the country will be destroyed, the country will burn in the process, but he wants the war to carry on for his own personal interests. So the Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he gave up his own personal interest for the betterment of the ummah. So ulama mentioned Allah Ta'ala will bless him in exchange of this, because he gave up something for the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala, that the Mahdi will be from his progeny. The Mahdi will be from his progeny. That's why he says, that's why Nabi Sallam said, as Ali quoting, and obviously he had it from Nabi Sallam, so he said, هذا سيد سماه رسول الله. This is a Sayyid, that is from my family. And then Sammahu Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned him. And then he said, as Ali said, and Nabi said, وَسَيَخْرُجُ مِنْ سُلُبِهِ. They will come from his progeny, and as Hassan's progeny, رَجُلٌ, a person, يُسَمَّى بِإِسْمِ نَبِيكُمْ. You will be named with the name of his Nabi. That was Nabi's name Muhammad. يشبهه في الخلق. He will right resemble, يعني the Mahdi will mention him, the Nabi, في الخلق. خلق means in characteristics, but ولا يشبهه في الخلق, but he will not resemble him in outer form. ثم ذكر قصة. Then as Ali also mentioned, that the Mahdi will come, he will fill the land with justice, etc. ثم ذكر قصة يملأ الأرض عدلا. That when the Mahdi come, he will fill the land with justice, equity, etc. رواه أبو داود. Abu Dawud narrates this, right? ولم يذكر القصة, but Abu Dawud didn't have this last part here in his riwayat. ثم ذكر القصة, right? So I was telling you, according to us, the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the preferred opinion is that the Mahdi will be from the progeny of Hazrat Hassan. But the Shias, they say no, the Mahdi will be from the progeny of Hazrat Hussein. Now remember, I told you, they believe that the Imamat was first Hazrat Ali. In fact, they believe Hazrat Ali, Hazrat Fatima was also like a female Imamah, right? So they say, although they don't include her in the 15 Imams, but they say she was the mother of the Imam, so she's also like an Imam, etc., etc. So then from there was they say Hazrat Ali, Hazrat Hassan, Hussein. Then from Hazrat Hussein, all his progeny came down. So they got, now there's 3 Imams. So the other 9 Imams, and the last one is the Mahdi, according to them. We also believe in the Mahdi, but we believe he's like a Messiah. But we don't believe in the whole concept of the Imams, the 12 divinely protected Imams, etc., etc. But anyway, the point I'm to make to you is this, that they say that the Mahdi will come from the Hussein. And in fact, so they say all the Imams come from the progeny of Hussein. But the reason why they do this is they're not very happy with Hazrat Hassan. Although they are forced to accept that he was, or they are forced to say he's also an Imam because he was also the progeny of Hazrat Ali. But why they're not happy? Do you know why they're not happy? Can you guess to me why they're not so happy with him? The reason why they're not so happy with him is because he made Sunnah with Muawiyah. Remember, I told you after as Ali passed away, as Hassan was his successor. I can't remember was the nominated as Ali, but the thing is, he made Sunnah. He was only the Khalifa for 6 months, but he thought to himself, "Hey, things are not good like this. Why have the Ummah split up? Why have our resources split up? Why have our power fractured? Let's make Sunnah." So he put down some conditions. That, oh, Muawiyah, if you adhere to these conditions here, then I will cede my rulership. So they are very, very unhappy with him. They are very, very unhappy with the Hassan. They say, no, he done the wrong thing. Because remember, they believe that Ali was the correct Khalifa, divinely appointed. In fact, they believe that Ali is supposed to succeed Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. As Ali supposed to succeed Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So they were not happy that power was now vested with Muawiyah, because they believe Muawiyah was the enemy of the Ahlul Bayt, so they don't like him so much. So because they don't like him so much, they won't accept that the Mahdi is going to be from his progeny, right? So I was telling you, we say the Mahdi will be Hassani, not Husseini, right? Oh yes, there is certain hadith that say that the Mahdi will be Husseini, but the overwhelming majority of all the hadith say that the Mahdi will be Hassani. There where it says Husseini, we say it means that it will be from the family of Allah Ta'ala. Okay, one more hadith to finish this chapter. Let's do that one, inshallah. So remember that the preferred expression is that the Mahdi will be Hassani, not Husseini.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن جابر بن عبد الله رضي الله تعالى عنهما قال فقد الجراد في سنة من سن عمر التي توفي فيها، ثم بذلك هما شديدا، فبعث إلى اليمن راكبا إلى العراق راكبا إلى الشام يسأل عن الجراد هل أري منه شيئا، أتاه الراكب من قبل اليمن بطبلة فنثر ما بين يديه، فلما رأى عمر كبر وقال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إن الله عز وجل خلق أن
Okay, stop there. Very, very interesting hadith here. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن جابر بن عبد الله قال فقد الجراد في سنة من سن عمر التي توفي فيها. That the locust فقد ومسين فقد. No, in the Quran also says وتفقد الطير فقال ما لي لا وتفقد الطير فقال ما لي لا أرى الهدهد. Sulaiman alayhi salam never see the birds. He found lost. The literally means I'll never see him. So فقد الجراد في سنة من سن عمر التي توفي فيها. That the locusts were missing in the year from, and sinniya means the demise of Umar radiallahu ta'ala, right? Sorry, in a year from the years of Umar, the one in which he passed away. So sanatu means sinni, in a year from the years in which Umar radiallahu ta'ala passed away. Are you with me? So فاهتم بذلك همًا. So he was a bit worried. So normally what you say, the locusts would come. The locusts would come maybe at that, like how even you get the locust season. It's this time of the year, the locusts, maybe the eggs hatch, and then they come, and then they pass through the lands. Sometimes they come so much that they, wreak havoc. There are a lot of destruction. But normally they have their time where the eggs hatch and then they come out, and right. So this probably something that was a common phenomenon in Arabia, etc., etc. But one year the locusts didn't make their appearance at all. Or they didn't. They passed by Medina to Munawwara. So maybe every year at a certain time they would like, how you get this. Even I don't know if you saw this ever. You have the sardine run. They have it where the sardines wash up on the shore. You ever heard about it? You never heard about it, not once. So these, the sardines, they lay their eggs, and then once all of those eggs get hatched, so then the sardines travel in big numbers, and they come and they pass by Port Elizabeth. When they pass by Port Elizabeth, they are more further out at sea. But when they come to Durban, then they're very close to a lot of them wash up onto the ocean, to the shores, and people go and harvest this and they eat it and enjoy it. So, this is the migratory patterns. How the birds also, that summer they go someplace, winter they go another place, then they travel. So something like this, maybe there was a place where the locusts maybe would lay their eggs, and then after they hatch, they would travel and would pass by Medina, maybe go further on to another area, whatever. So they had this part of like you said, the migratory patterns, whatever it is. So one year the locusts did not make their appearance. Now, even you will see sometimes. I remember a couple of years ago. Now it's quite a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, or something like that. I remember a locust is halal to eat in Islam. Ne? You know that what the hadith وحدت لكم الميتتان. A locust you can eat without slaughtering, and the other thing you can eat without slaughtering is fish. So a couple of years ago, 10 years ago, there was a plague of locusts, and people in Arabia were going crazy. It was like how you get a market, you sell bags of fruit. They were selling bags and bags of locusts in it, right? So so sometimes these locusts they or not the locusts but just such any of these there's like a bumper crop and there's an excess of them. I remember 2 years ago also, 2 years ago or 3 years ago here in the Eastern Cape, there was the locusts were way more than they usually came, and they were causing havoc to the lands. They were destroying the lands. They were eating everything that came in front of them, like Ya'juj Ma'juj. When they go past the water, by the time the last one passes the water is finished, right? So like if you put a lot of food here, you put students here. If the first, they must enter here. By the time they go out here, by the last time they pass, the Starkhan will be empty. So that was also in the Eastern Cape. I remember one person at a game farm when I phoned him, he said he's battling that out, fighting the locusts because the locusts are destroying the land. Anyway, so the locusts would also make their appearance. But now also another thing is, remember with the change in landscape, etc., then also the animals change their migratory patterns. So maybe like lands that were wild lands, now it is changing into agricultural lands. People are farming there. So obviously then that unsettles their patterns. But anyway, in the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, etc., the locusts would make their appearance, they would pass by there, right? So 1 year the locusts didn't appear, right? So so he's saying فقد الجراد, the locusts were not there. فاهتم بذلك هما شديدا. So the Umar was now worried, the locusts. So why was he worried? فبعث إلى اليمن راكبا وراكبا العراق وراكبا الشامي. He sent towards Yemen a horseman, and he sent a horseman to Iraq, and he sent a horseman to Syria. يسأل الجراد, that normally this time of the year the locusts, they make their appearance, the eggs hatch and then they travel and they go, right. هل أري منه شيئا أرى يرى أرى was he seen from it anything. فأتى الراكب الذي من قبل اليمن بقبضة. Then a rider came from Yemen with a handful of this locust. فنثرها بين يديه, he threw it in front of his Umar. فلما رأى عمر, when Umar saw it, كبر, he was happy, made takbir. فقال سمعت رسول الله. He said, now what was all the reasoning why he was worried that where's the locust, and why was he happy now when he saw the locust? إن الله عز وجل خلق ألف أمة. Allah Ta'ala created like 1,000 different types of ummat, like animals, right? ست مئة منها في البحر. So from amongst this here, 600 from amongst it is in the ocean. وأربعمائة في البر, and 400 on the land, right? فإن أول هلاك هذه الأمة. So there's different translations. The really destruction of the first from amongst it will be the locust. فإذا هلك الجراد تتابعت الأمم كنظام السلك. So what this hadith is showing us something new, something different that we're not aware of. That look here, there are different types of creations. And there's even more creation in the ocean than is on the land. Normally, generally, for every creation on the land, you get the equivalent in the ocean. Like how you see, you get a lion, then you see in the ocean, you get a sea lion. You know what I'm saying? You get a human being on the land. You even get a bahr, you get the insul bahri. This about the human that lives in the ocean. You thought this about a mermaid, and a merman is a myth. They even speak about the kutub. In the kutub, they speak about this. They speak about the discussion of those things that you can eat from the ocean. Some ulama say you can eat anything from the ocean. That means you catch a merman or mermaid from the ocean, you can eat. But the Hanafi madhab said you can only eat the fish. We'll do this one day also in Mishkaat Shareef. But the kutub speak about. So for every creation you get on the land, you get. I remember once Mufti AK Hussein, he said that the dolphin, it is like how you get khinzirul barri, that the dolphin is khinzirul bahri. If you look also, there's a spout in it. Whether he's right or not, Allah Ta'ala knows best, but I'm telling you, just this is what he said. But anyway, so we today, we haven't fully explored the oceans even. I mean, there's certain places in the ocean where it is 30 kilometers deep. 30, we haven't been to those. We don't know what other. But anyway, this hadith, what Umar radiallahu ta'ala is quoting on the authority of, quoting from the Sallallahu, right? 600 creations in the ocean and 400 creations on the land. But nevertheless, what he's saying, what this hadith is saying, that with the run up and with the progress to Qiyamah, these different type of creations will start becoming will become extinct. They will disappear from the face of the earth slowly. And the first thing that will disappear are the locusts. So as long as the locusts are there, that means we haven't really started experiencing the major signs of Qiyamah. So فَإِذَا هَلَكَ الْجَرَادُ, once the locusts disappear, then it will happen in quick succession. Like nizam silky, like I told you, you got the tasbih, you got a necklace, when anything break, how those beads fall off so in quick succession, similar like that, things will start happening in quick succession. Imam Bayhaqi narrates this in Shu'ab al-Iman. So alhamdulillah, that brings us to the end of that chapter, which was more or less, you can say, the alamat al-kubra. Next tomorrow, inshallah, we said, باب ذكر العلامات بين الساعة وذكر الدجال. So it seems now we're going to be moving, inshallah, with the grace of Allah Ta'ala, to the alamat kubra. May Allah Ta'ala accept from us what we've done thus far. May Allah Ta'ala make it a sadaqah jariyah for us, for our family, our parents. And as I said, tomorrow we will then move now on to alamat kubra. Same link, inshallah, for the tafsir.